Execution and performance measurement. Inventory and resource management. Types of inventory and their functions. Economic order quantity models. Inventory and resource management. Inventory and resource management examines strategies businesses use to optimize resources. Effective management is crucial for reducing costs, improving efficiency, and meeting customer demands. Types of inventory and their functions. At its core, inventory refers to the stock of any item or resource used within an organization. Understanding the different types of inventory and their specific functions is the first crucial step in mastering inventory and resource management. Purpose and objective. The primary purpose of categorizing inventory into different types and functions is to understand its role within the operational process. This categorization allows for more targeted management strategies, tailored control mechanisms, and informed decision-making regarding procurement, storage, and utilization. Process flow. The inventory flow typically begins with the acquisition of raw materials or components, then their transformation into work in progress, and finally culminates in finished goods ready for sale. Along this chain, various inventory forms exist to buffer against uncertainties, enable economies of scale, and facilitate the production and distribution processes. Understanding this flow helps contextualize the different inventory types. Types of inventory and their functions. 1. Raw materials. They are purchased from suppliers and have not undergone any transformation yet. Function: to provide the necessary materials for production. Maintaining an adequate supply ensures uninterrupted production flow and avoids costly delays. However, excessive raw materials can tie up capital and incur storage costs. 2. Work in process. This inventory comprises partially completed goods or materials used in the production process. Function: to decouple different stages of production, allowing each stage to operate somewhat independently. Inventory can buffer against bottlenecks in one area, preventing them from halting the entire production line immediately. 3. Finished goods. These are finished products that are prepared for sale to customers. They embody the results of the production process. Function: to meet customer demand promptly. Maintaining a sufficient finished goods inventory ensures that orders can be fulfilled promptly, improving customer service and potentially increasing sales. However, holding excessive finished goods can lead to obsolescence and high storage costs. 4. Maintenance, repair, and operating supplies. These items support the production process but are not directly incorporated into the final product. They include consumables, spare parts, and general maintenance supplies. Function: to ensure the seamless and efficient operation of equipment and facilities. Maintaining a readily available inventory of maintenance, repair, and operating supplies minimizes downtime stemming from breakdowns or maintenance activities. 5. Transit inventory, pipeline inventory. It refers to inventory currently in transit between different locations, such as from a supplier to a manufacturing plant or from a distribution center to a retailer. Function: to bridge the gap between different stages of the supply chain. While in transit, this inventory is not readily available, but it is essential to fulfill future demand. Managing transit inventory involves considerations of transportation time and costs. 6. Buffer inventory, safety stock. Extra inventory is held to protect against uncertainties in demand, lead times, or supply chain disruptions. Function: to mitigate the risk of stockouts and maintain a desired service level. The safety stock level is determined by the variability of demand, lead times, and the cost of stockouts. 7. Anticipation inventory. This inventory is accumulated to meet expected future demand or to prepare for planned events such as seasonal peaks, promotions, or scheduled shutdowns. Function: to ensure sufficient supply is available when demand is predictably higher than usual or when production capacity might be temporarily reduced. Economic order quantity, EOQ, models. Efficient inventory management forms the basis for successful operations. Holding excessive inventory ties up valuable capital and incurs substantial storage costs. Conversely, insufficient inventory can lead to stockouts, production delays, and dissatisfied customers. Wikipedia defines economic order quantity, EOQ, as the order quantity that minimizes the total costs of holding and ordering inventory. EOQ is the ideal number of units to minimize total expenses by balancing the costs of buying, shipping, and storing a product. Economic order quantity, EOQ, models provide a practical approach to striking this delicate balance. While based on simplifying assumptions, EOQ models provide a robust starting point for inventory decisions and offer valuable insights into the trade-offs involved. Economic order quantity models. Purpose and objective. Introduce the fundamental concepts and assumptions underlying economic order quantity, EOQ, models. Explain the components considered in EOQ calculations, ordering and holding costs. Present the basic EOQ formula and illustrate its derivation. Demonstrate how to apply the EOQ model through a practical example. Discuss the key insights and limitations of EOQ models in real-world inventory management. Process flow. The core process of applying an EOQ model involves the following steps. 1. Identify relevant costs. Determine the key costs associated with inventory management, specifically the ordering cost per order and the holding cost per unit per period. 2. Estimate demand. Forecast the expected demand for the inventory item over a specific period, usually, annual demand is considered. 3. Apply the EOQ formula. Utilize the economic order quantity, EOQ, formula, which mathematically reconciles ordering and holding costs to ascertain the optimal order quantity. The basic EOQ formula is EOQ equals radical from 2ds divided by h. Where EOQ equals economic order quantity, the optimal order size. D equals annual demand for the inventory item. S equals ordering cost per order, cost incurred each time an order is placed. H equals holding cost per unit per year, cost of storing 1 unit of inventory for 1 year. 4. Calculate total inventory costs. Once the EOQ is determined, the total annual inventory cost can be calculated by summing the total yearly ordering cost and the total annual holding cost in accordance with the formula presented in the slide. Where Q represents the order quantity, which would be the EOQ for the minimum total cost. 5. Interpret and implement. Analyze the calculated economic order quantity and consider its practical implications. Implement the determined order quantity and reorder point, if applicable, within the inventory management system. Remember, the more you learn, the more you earn. Never stop learning. Life never stops teaching.